Story time. Warning, I'm going to be talking about a personal experience, so if you don't find that interesting or intriguing or anything, or you think that's boring or whatever, then you might want to go watch something else. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about a personal experience. And the only reason I want to make this kind of video is to, or this certain video is so I can answer some future questions that I may get down the road. Of questions like, why don't you have a job? What's your job? Are you employed? Why aren't you employed? Why don't you have a job? Why aren't you working anywhere? Those type of questions. So this video hopefully will answer to some degree those types of questions. So yeah, I'll start out this story by saying I did have a job 4 years ago. I worked at a place, a non-profit organization that I'm going to refer to as Productions. I'm not using its real name because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know if I would even get in trouble for talking about it, but just in case, I'm not going to use its real name. But yeah, this organization is basically a non-profit organization that employed people with disabilities. You know, gave them job opportunities, gave them jobs to do, and gave them actual fucking payment and shit. So I don't know, maybe they could fulfill more of their lives or whatever. I don't know what the exact reason. I guess just to give people with disabilities more of a job opportunities than they would get normally, which is a good and noble thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I have nothing wrong with that. No problems with that. So I started working there because I have autism. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. Anybody's seen any earlier videos that I talked about it, but I have autism. I'm on the the autism spectrum. Yeah, and that's why I started working there, because my aunt got me this job because I guess she was worried that I didn't have a real income or a real job, or didn't have a job out of high school or whatever, and she was worried about that. So she got me this job, and by the way, it took forever to get this job. So, because it was a long process to actually get into this job for her and me and everybody else involved, because they were so fucking whatever. They were so selective of who they let work there, or what kind of disability you had to have to work there to be qualified or something like that. But yeah. But I worked at this job, Productions, and basically, like I said, what I did there was just simple work, and that was perfect for me. And what I mean by simple work is easy work, not like hard labor, not like lifting things constantly, or like not extremely hard stuff. It was jobs that literally they were easy to do. Easier, at least, especially for me, with someone who really didn't want to work a fucking monotonous, hard labor job all the fucking time and drain me fucking mentally and physically as well. It wasn't grueling, is what I mean. But yeah, my first day went really smooth. I started working there. The work was alright. The work was good. It wasn't too hard. And it was perfect for me. And it was, you know, people seemed friendly around there. The employees and even the supervisors, at least on the first day, or at least while working, they were nice enough to me. And the employees were, you know, the other fellow disabled people were friendly and nice, and they, you know, said hi to me and, you know, asked me my name and everything like that. And it was all in all a good experience. But around came lunchtime, and around came the first red flag of this job. Lunchtime is always difficult for me when in a group type setting, because same with when back in school, I didn't know where the fuck to sit. I didn't know where I was allowed to sit, or I didn't know anybody. And this job was the same thing. It was my first day. I didn't know where to sit. I didn't know who to sit by. I didn't have any kind of know that I didn't know anybody. And even if I did know them because of like they lived in the same town as me or lived in the same county as me, I didn't know them well enough to sit by them and be, you know, talk to them if I had to, or if they would talk to me. I didn't know. And me being antisocial, I just didn't know where to sit, and I was just kind of awkward, just fucking trying to choose a place to sit. There was like 4 different tables, alright? 4 different tables to sit at. 2 of the tables, or one of the tables, was lessly populated, but it was full. It had like less chairs on it, but it was full. There was really no place to sit unless I fucking got a chair from another table and sat there, which I probably should have done. But yeah, the other table was full. Had more chairs, well not full, but had more chairs and more people. And then there was a table with the supervisors that was less people, but they had like 1 remaining chair left. I guess someone wasn't there. But yeah. And then there was another table that was full, again, with people, but it was actually full. So I couldn't really sit there unless I scooted a fucking chair into there. But yeah, I chose the less people option, the supervisor table, because I didn't know. I thought less people, and they were more adults. You know, they weren't gonna fucking talk my head off, and I didn't have to talk if I didn't want to. So I chose the less people so I could just eat my lunch and be done with it. But of course, no, that was a big mistake. I shouldn't have chose that, because as soon as I try to sit down in the chair at the fucking supervisor table, I get magically fucking scolded. Hey, you can't sit here. Go sit over there. You're not allowed to sit here. And it was by a woman supervisor, not my supervisor, by the way, but it was a woman supervisor, and she told me, hey, don't sit here. Go sit over there with the rest of the people. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And I was just dumbfounded, like, why can't I sit there? What's the deal? It was a chair. And it was just the overall tone of her fucking voice that really just made me, you know, made me dumbfounded. Like, what was I doing wrong? I just wanted to sit down and eat my lunch. I don't care where I sat. I could have sat on a fucking roof in a chair. I would have been fine and happy. But no, I can't sit there because I guess apparently that's only for supervisors. That's only for people who were supervising. People who were in charge. And it was just like I said, the overall tone of her fucking voice was just really demeaning. Like, she wanted to make sure that I was not allowed there. I wasn't allowed to sit there. I wasn't allowed. I didn't belong in that table. I wasn't another human being. I belonged with, you know, the rest of the employees, the rest of the disabled employees. We're both human beings. There shouldn't have been a fucking issue. There shouldn't have been a problem. But yeah. So I sat down on the furthest fucking chair at the end of the fucking table, at that packed table, because it was fucking full of people. And I sat end of the fucking table. The only chair, it was only like 2 or 3 chairs that were available. I sat at the end because I knew better to sit by right beside someone, because I don't like that myself, because I'm not a very sociable fucking person, and I don't really like people fucking right beside me breathing on me. So I did that. And then along came another supervisor. I guess a more friendly supervisor, a more down-to-earth supervisor. She, or he, I can't remember if it was a woman or a male, but they sat at our table with us and conversed with us. It was a supervisor. I'm like, what's the deal? I thought there was some sort of rule that they only sat over there with them, and then we had to sit with the employees had to sit with the employees, and supervisors had to sit with the supervisors. Apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently it was just that supervisor, or maybe those supervisors were just, were just didn't want to be involved with the employees in a personal kind of way. They wanted, especially at lunchtime, they didn't know, once they were done working, we weren't even anything to them, or we weren't friends or anything. We were just fucking there. I don't know. It was just a red flag, and it's just, like I said, the overall tone changed. But eventually I got over it, and I slid it under the fucking thing, and it became not that much of a problem. And I kept working and working there. Weeks go by, and I'm talking to people, making somewhat friends, and eventually I started noticing another thing that had to do with the supervisors. Not all the supervisors, by the way. I want to mention this. Like I said before, that one supervisor that sat with us, they were nice. They were friendly, down to earth. They talked to us like we were actually fucking people. But yeah. But I noticed something with some of the supervisors there. That they started this fucking... They would talk down to you, if you know what I mean. They would treat you like you're fucking a kid, like you're a baby, like you're a fucking toddler, just because you were disabled. It didn't even matter what kind of or what kind of disability, I should say, you had. They would treat you, these certain supervisors would treat you, even my supervisor started treating me like a fucking little kid. Sorry, I need a drink. But yeah, and it was just, I just noticed that it started treating, it wasn't just me, they treated a lot of people, even the ones that literally were, less disabled and just probably just had fucking autism or some sort of learning disability or whatever. They started treating them like they were little fucking kids or toddlers, like they didn't know any better. Like seriously, it was just fucking really demeaning. And really, it just made you feel like, oh, well, I'm a little kid, basically. I can't do anything. And it just changed the overall fucking thing. And I wasn't the only one who noticed this. A lot of people who worked there, who I end up become friends with, that had probably autism like me, or at least I think they did, or had something else, I'm not entirely sure, what other disability, but I noticed other people started saying this as well on like break time. When we had breaks, we went outside and like hung out. They talked about it, and I was agreeing. I'm like, yeah, I noticed that too. And I was a new person, and they noticed. They said, it happens sometimes. Sometimes it's something you have to deal with while you're working here. I'm like, you shouldn't have to. You should say something. I know, and I'm like, why didn't I say something? Well, I'm not a very confrontational person. At least I wasn't back then. I sometimes just let things slide. and this went on. But yeah, I probably should have fucking said something. Said, hey, I don't want to be treated like a fucking 6-year-old. I understand that some disabled people, some people with disabilities, would not even care that they're being treated like that. Wouldn't even notice, maybe. Or maybe they were, maybe their disability makes them kind of think like a kid or whatever. And wouldn't even really care about being treated like that. But that's not the point. They're still people. They're still adults, because most of them were adults. Some of them might have been young teenager adults, young adults, teenagers, 16, 17, or 18 or whatever. And it's still, but that's not the thing. You should treat people with fucking respect. Don't treat them like little fucking kids. Don't talk down to them. Don't make them feel like they're less than what they are. It's just fucking, it's not a thing that you should do. But yeah, I noticed that, and it was another red flag. And coupled with that red flag came another red flag. It had to do with treatment. Not all, like I said, not all supervisors. Some supervisors were down to earth, cool, and they chilled with you and talked to you like you're a normal fucking human being. But there was always ones who treated you like you're either a little kid or something else. And what I mean by something else is, some of them treated, like there was a certain people that were disabled, that were like really more disabled. They had like, more stuff. They had more of a disability. You know what I'm talking about, whatever it was. And they sometimes treated those people like they were just fucking gremlins or something. Like, there was this one guy who I never learned his actual name, but he seemed friendly enough, and he, honestly, you could tell there was something there, so there was something missing. But he would just sometimes just wander off randomly because I guess his brain got too anxious or something, I don't know exactly. And sometimes he would wander off and start messing with something and whatever, and I overheard them fucking scolding him. But they weren't scolding him like a fucking person. Hell, they weren't even scolding him like a fucking child. They were scolding him like he was like a fucking animal or something. Like, seriously, like he fucking like took a shit on the carpet or something. That's how they were scolding him. They were treating him like he was fucking some sort of weird animal that got loose or something. And it was this weird. It was this kind of unnerving to see that, And it wasn't just him. It wasn't just the fact that he was. I think it was just the fact that some of the people that were more disabled than others got treated, not all the time, but sometimes got treated like that. Like they were like they were gremlins or goblins or animals of some kind. Like they weren't even fucking on any kind of level of humanity. And sometimes they would just literally just not fucking treat them like a normal human being, or treat them even with a decent level of fucking human respect or anything. And it would just be awful. But yeah, and I even noticed it. I didn't get treated like a gremlin or goblin or anything, by the way. I got treated like a kid half the time. And that annoyed the crap out of me. I'm not a kid. I know I have kid-like tendencies and childlike tendencies, but I'm not a kid. I'm an adult. I was 20 fucking 3 or 4, 24 or 25. I was probably maybe 23, 24 or 25 around the time I worked there. I don't remember exactly my age, but it was around that age group. And I might have even been 26. I really don't know. But yeah, all that treatment was just fucking, It just made me not like being in there at all. Even if, like I said, even with the people, like the employees being nice, and some of the fucking supervisors being really down to earth and nice, the other people, the other supervisors just made it fucking a bad experience. And it just made me not want to work there. It also, because of this, and yeah, and here comes another thing that I didn't notice. This thing was kind of this personal to me. Because I was, high with, you know, because I was less disabled than some of the other people, I got chose for more specific jobs, like counting jobs, jobs that you would have to count stuff, or I got chose for a specific job that had to do with fucking putting labels on plastic fucking tubing shit. And there was an actual label machine in the back, and I got to fucking use it and work with it because they taught me how to work with it because I guess I was smart enough to use it. And I got choice for those kind of jobs. I'm gonna say this: the fucking labeling job was it was fun to begin with, but then it turned into fucking monotonous. Get this done, get this done, get this done, get this done, constantly, get this done, get this done, get this done, do this, get it. And it was just constant. There was no end to it. And it just drove me fucking insane. I was doing the same thing over and over and over again. I didn't have any other job. When I was doing this, that's all I did. They didn't switch me out and made me do anything else. No, I barely did anything else when I was doing that. It got to a point where I wasn't fucking sleeping very good because that's all I did during the day was that. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard labor. It didn't exhaust me. It mentally fucking exhausted me because that's all was in my head was fucking doing that. I didn't fucking have anything else in my head. I didn't get to experience anything else. I couldn't do anything else while doing that job. You couldn't fucking slack off. You couldn't fucking listen to music. At least I couldn't. I was afraid to because I was afraid I'd get yelled at for not doing my job. And it was just, yeah, it was just monotonous. It drove me fucking insane to a point where, like I said, I wasn't sleeping very good. I was literally having dreams about fucking doing that. It was in my brain. It was that ingrained in my brain. So it got to a point where I had to fucking say something. Because if I didn't say something to someone that I wasn't fucking happy with what I was doing, that it was fucking draining me or something, if I didn't say something, it was gonna fucking turn into me just fucking quitting my job and leaving altogether. Because of this, I started fucking skipping work because I was having sleeping problems. I was fucking not sleeping very good, and there was days where I just wanted to sleep in. So, yeah. Sorry about that. I guess I'm talking too much, but yeah. And it was just horrible. Really horrible. So I complained to them, or somebody. I think I told my supervisor or something. I don't remember exactly who I told. But I told someone that I wasn't happy with the job I was doing, and it was draining me. So they made me stop, or so they got me to stop and got me to do anything else. And then, but after that, they kept fucking the person who was in charge of the whole labeling thing in the back. It was a different supervisor because when I was back there, I had a different supervisor because I guess they were in charge of different things and yada yada yada. But when I was back there in the back with the label machine, that same supervisor, once I stopped doing that, he would constantly fucking come out and ask me if I wanted to do it again because I guess probably, I guess they didn't have enough people to do it. And you wonder why, because people were probably tired of it, just like I was. It was probably tiresome. It probably was draining, doing the same thing over again. It wasn't like it was hard, because in reality, it wasn't hard. It didn't fucking do anything to me or anything. It was just fucking mentally fucking draining. And yeah. That was another thing that was just fucking awful. And even after that, I decided that it was the job was just not seeming as fun as it used to be. And it's been like what, almost a year. It was like maybe 5 or 6 or 7 months or went by. I don't know. And it was not seeming as fun anymore. And eventually, like I said, I started fucking skipping work. Not just because of the whole fucking label tube thing. That was the start of it. But then I started skipping work even more because I just wasn't enjoying what I was fucking doing anymore. I didn't want to go. I was tired of fucking waking up at fucking 6:30 in the fucking morning. It just was just fucking not fun anymore. So I started skipping work. And then, yeah, I'll say this. This entire fucking job felt like fucking school. You woke up at 6 in the morning and then you fucking left at fucking 2:30. That's school. At least for me, personally. That's school. That's most time that's what school hours are. So, yeah. It was just fucking not fun anymore. It felt like more of a fucking thing I just had to go through. Like, just like school was a thing I just had to sit through and fucking deal with. So it wasn't fun anymore. Even though yes, it was fucking, I was making money, but it just wasn't fucking fun. The money ended up being the only fucking thing that I was staying for, was the fact that I was getting paid. So it just turned not fun anymore. And I understand that some jobs aren't fun, but it should be somewhat fun. You should fucking enjoy it to a degree. You shouldn't have to fucking work a fucking shit job just because it makes fucking money. If you're not enjoying it, you shouldn't have to work it, is what I'm saying. So that's really what it was. I just wasn't having any kind of... I wasn't enjoying it anymore. The people were nice. Like, the employees were nice. But it just wasn't... Yeah, it wasn't an enjoyable fucking experience because it was just... all the shit things that about it. The fucking monotony. The fucking... Even after I stopped doing the tubing job, the other jobs became fucking monotonous as well. Like fucking counting and fucking putting fucking parts together. And I mean, the only thing that was halfway fucking bearable was fucking shredding. Shredding became the fucking thing I just wanted to do constantly because it was the easiest fucking job. I know it didn't pay the most, but it was the easiest fucking job. And it was the less monotonous. I know it was like shredding is less monotonous than counting shit and fucking putting fucking sweeper parts together and whatever. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Because in reality, the other ones were just fucking not very fun. And honestly, it turned into another fucking thing again where the only thing I was fucking having dreams about was fucking work. And that was the only thing. I didn't have a fucking... It's decided I didn't have a fucking life outside of this having to go to my fucking job every fucking day. And picking the weekend, and that's the only break I had. The only break I had was Saturday and Sunday. That's it. And every so often I'd get a fucking holiday off, like fucking Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter or Memorial Day or something like that. But it just became... I didn't have any kind of fucking life. I couldn't fucking stay up. I couldn't stay up watching movies one night. I couldn't fucking do anything during the fucking day, during the week, because I couldn't because I was at work doing stuff. So like I said, I fucking slept in and I fucking started skipping work more and more and more and more until they fucking noticed and fucking called my mom and literally was asking if I was fucking okay or something. And I basically said, no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't want to fucking do this anymore. My mom wasn't very happy. My aunt wasn't very happy, but they learned to deal with it. And eventually, like I said, I just fucking quit. I gave up because it just became like I didn't have a fucking existence anymore. My job was my fucking existence. And yes, I understand that isn't a hard job what I was doing, but it was fucking taking over my fucking brain. It was taking over my soul. I couldn't enjoy doing anything else because I knew I had to work the next day. I couldn't come home and fucking do anything because I couldn't enjoy it because I couldn't fucking stay up till fucking midnight because I had to wake up at fucking 6:30 in the morning. And it just became not fun. It wasn't fucking nothing. So I quit. But yeah. You know, it wasn't the worst experience, but it was still, it just drained me. Also, I wanted to mention another thing. Employees that worked there. You know, certain ones. Like I said, I did make some friends. I did. I made a really good friend, which I haven't talked to in a while because he's off doing other things, who actually left right after I did for the same reason, because it was just not a fun job. It wasn't doing anything. Didn't have any kind of life outside of it. But yeah. And it was just, I made that friend, and then I made other friends as well, but the employees there were just, they were fine. They were nice to a degree. Some of them, sometimes the employees there just got kind of weird. Like I said, it ended up feeling like school all over again, where people would fucking focus on fucking drama, relationships, and it was just weird. That was another weird thing about this fucking job, is that it was this close fucking community of people, bunch of people, and cliques and everything. It was like school all over again. Except, yeah, that's about it. It was like school over again. I even had people had fucking crushes on me just because I was fucking one of the few guys that was fucking halfway decent looking. I know, yeah. But, yeah. And it was this overall, yeah, the experience with the employees, other people there, just felt like school all over again. Drama, fucking relationships, fucking people going out, people asking each other out, people getting into actual fights. That actually fucking happened too. And people calling you fucking names and calling you gay. That was still a fucking thing. With adults, I understand that some of them didn't know better, but some obviously did and just didn't care. So it was just like, it was a school all over again. In many ways. So, yeah. I quit. I gave up, I guess. And I haven't worked there for 4 years. I haven't worked for 4 years. And eventually I got my fucking SSI. And now that's my only income and whatever. And before anybody says anything like that, that means you're lazy, you're a fucking leech off the government, blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking care. It's easier for me to make money, or to have money that way, than fucking having to deal with a fucking soul-crushing, soul-draining, mentally exhausting, mentally draining fucking job like I was before. I'd rather be considered lazy, a leech from the government, than fucking any of that. So, yeah. That's my job experience. That's why I don't work. It's just, I feel like if I try to do another job, it's just going to be the same thing over again. Or at least it might even be worse than before. So, yeah. it's probably just going to be just as exhausting having any other kind of job. So I'm just happy living my life how I want it now, how I'm doing now. You know, having my SSI check every month, buying things for myself every so often, not so much as you think, and just living my life, doing what I want, staying up as late as I want, changing my sleep schedule anytime I want, doing whatever I want in regards to the laws and everything, but you know what I mean. And just being me, being happy, being content. It might not seem the most exciting life or most fulfilling life, but at least I'm happy with, you know, what I'm doing, how I'm living my life. I don't need a fucking job to be fulfilled. So yeah, that's it. That's my story. And hopefully that explains somewhat why I don't work anymore. And yeah, I'm gonna go because I don't know how long this video is already. So yeah, see everybody later. Bye.